This is the one I made. I decided I like the get well soon idea on it and made the drawer with a little pull place in here and got some flowers from the Make the Cut gallery, and this label is from Make the Cut gallery as well, and the leaves from the gallery. So you can look through, if you search through the gallery for leaves and flowers, you can find designs that you like. I use the font LDT Buttercream to do the text here with a pen. I also found some different leaves. I have these punches, this one and this one. I could have scanned them in, but really you can find them online. I just pixel traced them, even though I own them. And this was a 5-petal flower that I just made different sizes and a label. So you can search in the gallery for any of those if you need the item numbers. I put them, leaves were 5433 and the flowers were 2523. For example, if I go into the gallery and I type a number here, 2523, 2523, and search. Let's see if it finds it. Oh, there it is. All the different sizes. I made 2 of each, and even the little circle was in there. So yeah, you can just type in the number and you can find exactly the one you're looking for if you have the item number from the gallery. I write notes to myself so I know how to find it again. Now, to make the box itself, this was the size of tissues that I happen to have. It's a pretty big box. Now, the one that Joanna made was smaller, and so I thought I'd show you how to do the smaller one. And we don't have to reinvent the wheel because there's a free template online at Template Maker for a matchbox. If you go to the Template Maker site, you can scroll down, look through the different styles of designs that they have here, and if you go down a ways, you'll find the one that I use, which is this matchbox. So I click on it to get the bigger view, and you notice that they give you the measurements. The height is this measurement here, which we want it to be 1 inch. The width is the short edge, and then we have the long edge here. So if you want to make a custom box, the measurements that you need it to be, you can click on, if you click on the box itself, you get the full screen. We want inches here, so I click on inches, and the box measures, the completed box, and I'm looking for the long measurement, happens to be length. Okay, so in the length field right here, I'm going to put in the long measurement of 4.5 inches, and then height is going to be 1 inch. And these are for the little packets of tissues that you can get. Makes a really nice gift size. And then the width is 2.5 inches, 2.5. The clearance I just left at the default, as well as the glue tabs. You can make the glue tabs wider if you want, and margins. The file format, I figured out that the SVG file did not come in with the proper sizes. So I clicked on the PDF, and then you click on Create. When you do that, it creates a template for you. If you right-click and Save As, it'll save that file for you. I'm going to just save it to my desktop, and I'm going to go back again with the same measurements in the box, 2.5 by 4.5 by 1. I'm going to now download the SVG, and I'll explain why when I get to make the cut. I'll click on Create, right click, Save As, and now it'll save as SVG. Now when we go in to make the cut, we'll open a new page and show you first how to import the PDF. If I go up here to the top of the screen and click on PDF icon, then I find the PDF file. It's the template with the measurements here, and click on Open. Oh, part of the design came in, but the other part didn't. That's because there are two pages. So click on the PDF, click on the file. Now over here in the preview window, you see page 1 of 2. If I want to bring page 2 in, I've got to click up so that now it says page 2 of 2. And I can click on Open. And now I have both pieces on my Make the Cut screen. Now what I want to do is open another layer, click on the larger of the two green plus icons. I'm going to bring in the SVG. The reason I want the SVG is that when I click on either of these shapes, you notice that the score lines are all joined with the cut lines. And rather than mess with that and have to break them apart and do all kinds of other things, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this down a little bit so I can type T so that they're at the top, and I'll tell you why in a second. But now I want to go get the SVG file. I'm going to click on the SVG import at the top of the page and bring in the SVG file. Now when I hold this over the PDF file, you notice that the size is quite a bit different. It took me a little bit to figure out, I wonder what the real size is supposed to be. Well, this just didn't line up with the proper sizes, so I could either drag it out, or better yet, I'm going to select this PDF, and I see that it's 7 3/4 inches tall, so I'm going to hide the PDF. Make sure these are lined up at the top, or at least this one is a little lower than the top, because this is the piece that's 7 3/4 inches. I'm going to select both of these, and I'm just going to hold the aspect ratio by clicking on the lock, and I need this to be 7.75, enter. Now it should be the right height. I can check that and compare, and it looks pretty good here. On the left, they're both lined up. So again, I'm going to hide these. Now, why would I want to use the SVG instead of the PDF? Well, the reason is the dashed lines are already in here. They're already on their own layers, so I don't have to worry about them. And that's important to me. Less work, the better. So I could use it just like this, but I would like my box to be a little stronger. I'm going to delete the PDF by clicking on the red X on the layer, because I don't need it. It's the one on the bottom that's hidden right now. So I'm going to click on the red X, and it's now gone. I would like stronger sides. So what I'm going to do is add reinforcement to each of the sides before I cut this. To do that, I'm going to add a square, double click, and looking at this, I realize my green mat. Somebody asked a question this week, why does my shape come in with no color? The reason why these came in with no color fill is because there are open paths in these. I'm going to click on the pen and you can see open path up in that corner and up in this corner, and that happens sometimes. So to fix that, I'm going to grab the score lines and send them to their own layers by clicking the smaller of the two green plus icons, because I don't want to do anything to these lines. They're fine the way they are, but I want to take these shapes and join them, and then go to the wrench icon at the bottom and use Fuse and Weld and apply with the slider all the way to the right, and now it's automatically closed the shapes for me, so I don't have to worry about open paths, and I can see what I'm doing here. So I can now add my extra pieces here. I'm going to overlap just a little. My square came in at 1 inch, which is fine, and I'm just going to drag it out so that it lines up with this edge here. I'm going to hold Control and Shift and drag, and again just barely overlap with this square here. I'm going to hold Control Shift and drag again and rotate 90 degrees and line this up so it's just overlapping a little. Shorten it and line it up with the length there. Hold Control Shift and drag and line that up. I do want these two pieces to align to the top, so just type a T. I'd like to line up these two pieces with a V, vertically aligned. That would be good. And now I want to go to my score line layer. The highlighted layer is the one that's showing here. And I'm going to add score line right above there. So I'm going to click on the Bezier draw, and I'll put snapping on, and left click, right click, left click, right click, left click, right click, left click, and right click. So now I'm going to hide the score layer, and I'll just grab all these pieces and click on Weld. They should weld if they're overlapping. Oh, I think these are joined. I'm going to split them. There they go. Now I can show the score lines, and I have a nice box that's ready to fold up. Now these flaps here, I'm going to make sure that they're all scored. Select line style, adjust the links a little bit. So these are all ready to go. And I need to pull a little drawer. If you remember here, my drawer has a little notch so that I can open this to put my little pieces in there. And to make that, I'll add a new layer and go to Basic Shapes, type in CI for a circle, double click on the circle, And I really only need this to be a 1/2 inch, I think. So I'll just type in 0.5, enter. And I would like it to be on this fold line. I'll turn off this snapping. I'm going to hold the shift key and select the box and type in H to align them horizontally. Again, I'll hide these score lines. And with both of those selected, I'll join. Now I've got a circle here, so when this folds over, I'll have that little notch there. The only other part that I need, now this shape forms the bottom of the box. This one wraps around the outside. So these are the sides, and it's just a box where you set the tissues inside here. You fold the tabs, you glue it, and then you'll tuck over all of the extra little pieces to reinforce the sides. This one, you put your little adhesive here and wrap around here, and it'll slide right over the box. And so what I need here is the opening for the tissues to come out. So I'll add a new layer and go up to basic shapes. And this time I need an oval, so I'm going to type OV, double click the oval, and rotate it 90 degrees. And the oval needs to be 2 inches by 1 inch. So I'll make that 2 inches wide by 1 inches tall and enter. Now, how do we center it? Well, I don't eyeball it very well, so I'm going to add a square and make it the size of this portion of the design. Just stretch it out a little bit. Now I'm going to select both the oval and the rectangle, type S to stack so that the oval is right in the middle. Now I can delete that rectangle and know that my oval is exactly centered in this portion of the design. So I'm going to hold Shift and click on the design and then join. So now I have the place for the Kleenex to come out. It's all ready to decorate. Now I'm going to undo that for a second, because if you want to see my picture here, we'll go to the contrast. I decorated the opening by using that opening and making a frame the same size. So coming back to the green mat, I'm going to select that oval, Control Shift and drag, send it to its own layer. Now I can select this and join it so I have my opening, but I'm going to make this a frame by clicking on the shadow layer, and you can use the thickness that you want. I used 2/10 and accepted, and then if you select both and join, then you have a frame that'll perfectly fit around your opening, and then you can add your other embellishments as you like. Now this particular piece of the design didn't weld or join with this piece, but if I do that, I think I just need another. I'll break this apart. And I'll duplicate this and join. Then I will select the other piece. And join. So I have two holes here. I want one hole to join to this underside piece. If I move this to the bottom, then I can grab this piece right here and this hole, holding the shift, and join. Boolean join. I want to remove that hole. Now I want to get this hole and join. I got rid of that little piece there. Okay, so any questions? I put everybody to sleep, right?
Nope, sorry, I forgot to unmute. No questions.
Okay, well that's, I'll show you the picture again. You can decorate the box as you like. I love it as a get well gift. I didn't show you the large box. I actually resized this and found out that the box that I have in this picture is actually a bigger box. It's not the pocket version of tissues. It's exactly the same process, but I typed in the measurements to be bigger. But you notice it hangs over the 12-inch mat, and I only had 12-inch paper. Both these pieces are too big. So then I decided, well, I have to break it apart. So I took this edge off of here. Cut that off. Actually, it was this way. And I add a little tab here, so this could be glued on. And I took this edge off the end and added a little tab so that it would glue here and be the equivalent of the large box here. And then I just added the embellishments. So whether you want a bigger box, now this isn't the huge tissue box, this is just more of a personal size, but it's not the pocket size either. So you can make it any size using the template maker, which is free online. And so whenever I want a box, custom box, I check here first. See if maybe they have what I'm looking for amongst their collection. A lot of fun things in there, and no need to reinvent the same box over and over again. So that's all I have.
Okay, so thank you, Julie. There's a lot of kudos in there if you want to read through them. Any questions for Julie?
Fuse and weld.
Yeah, fuse and weld is for when you have. It's for when you have. Go ahead, Julie.
I use fuse and weld any time that a design comes in and it's not filled. Sometimes it's because you have two of the same thing that came in and they're stacked. For example, I'll bring in that SVG file again so you can see. So if it has an open path like these pieces do, there's not going to be any color in them, so you know there's an open path. Now to check, you just click either on the pencil or on the pen, and if you see a dot there, now these are open paths because they're score lines, but there shouldn't be an open path on the edge. And the quick way to fix that is, first of all, you have to join, because Fusion Weld will not work if the shapes are not joined. So I've got them joined now, and now you click on the wrench and Fusion Weld, and if the design is within 5/100ths of an inch, if each of the edges, like this line and this line, if they're close enough but just not quite meeting, and they're within the 5/100th inch range, then it will automatically join them. And you know they're joined because now they get filled with the green. The other time that they can be needing Fusion Weld is if you somehow got a double shape. I'm going to hold Control Shift and click, and sometimes if you had two of these and join, let's see if I can select them both. I'll put one on its own layer. And send that to its own layer. So I'm going to select these, and if I join these, you notice that it turns clear again. That's because they're double lines. And if you get double lines, you could either try getting rid of them, or you can do Fusion Weld, and you should get your solid back again. So either there's an open path or you've joined two of the exact same shape. I hope that explains it.